Colorado isn't just mountains, rivers, or ski resorts. It's a land filled with secrets that defy explanation. From glowing orbs in the dead of night to jagged rock formations that twist reality, and abandoned towns haunted by echoes of the past, these mysteries are unlike anything you've ever seen. If you think you know Colorado, think again. Today, we're going to explore 3 of its most chilling and unexplainable phenomena. Stick around, because every story hides details that will make you question what's real and what's beyond. Let's uncover the unknown together. Period. The Brown Mountain Lights of Colorado. High in the remote ridges of Colorado, a phenomenon has puzzled locals, travelers, and scientists for decades. The mysterious glowing orbs known as the Brown Mountain Lights. Unlike ordinary lights from vehicles or towns, these strange orbs appear at night, often hovering, darting, or moving in ways that defy the laws of physics. Some say they are spirits of the past, wandering the mountains. Others believe they are something far stranger, signals from another dimension, or even extraterrestrial visitors. Whatever the truth, the Brown Mountain Lights have remained an enduring mystery, capturing the imagination of anyone who witnesses them. Stories of these lights go back over a century, first recorded by early settlers and miners who ventured into the Colorado ridges. They spoke of bright orange or yellow lights flickering along the mountain ridges in the dead of night. These lights seemed alive, appearing and disappearing unpredictably, moving in ways no human or animal could replicate. Local indigenous tribes also had stories of glowing spirits moving through the mountains, often warning travelers of danger or signaling events to come. These orbs were more than mere lights. They were believed to carry messages, either from the dead or from unknown forces beyond human comprehension. Many of the earliest documented sightings come from miners in the late 1800s. Colorado's mining towns were isolated, with rugged terrain and long, dark nights. Miners returning from work often reported strange glowing balls floating above ridges or dancing along trails. Some described lights that followed them, as if curious about their movements. Others witnessed the lights split into smaller spheres, only to merge into a single orb again, vanishing without a trace. The unpredictability of these lights made them both fascinating and terrifying. Eyewitness accounts throughout the 20th century continued to describe similar experiences. Hikers walking alone along foggy trails saw lights suddenly appear, hovering at eye level before darting into the distance. Some travelers reported the orbs moving in patterns that suggested intelligence, almost as if they were observing or communicating. Residents who lived near the ridges swore the lights had a life of their own, and some even claimed to hear faint hums or whispers accompanying the orbs, though no explanation has ever been verified. Scientists have attempted several explanations. Some suggest that the lights are simply atmospheric reflections caused by the refraction of distant car headlights, campfires, or lightning. Others argue they could be natural gas emissions from the Earth, igniting and creating a mysterious glow in low-lying areas. While these theories account for some sightings, many reports describe movements and behaviors that defy simple scientific explanation. Lights have been seen hovering for hours, changing direction abruptly, or following humans and animals, which cannot be explained by conventional atmospheric or geological phenomena. The phenomenon is not limited to a single ridge or location. Sightings have been reported along multiple ridges throughout Colorado, particularly in sparsely populated areas with minimal light pollution. Some orbs appear near cliff edges, moving as if they are aware of the terrain, while others seem to interact with observers, approaching or retreating based on their actions. The patterns suggest intelligence, though no one has been able to verify what or who is behind these mysterious lights. Despite the lack of a definitive explanation, the Brown Mountain Lights continue to attract curiosity seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. Night tours, hiking expeditions, and amateur investigations are common, with visitors hoping to witness the phenomenon firsthand. Photographs and videos exist, but often fail to capture the full experience. The light's erratic movements and glowing intensity are far more dramatic in person, leaving witnesses both awestruck and unsettled. Local folklore adds another layer to the mystery. Some legends say the lights are the spirits of miners who died in accidents, eternally searching for something lost in the mountains. Others claim they are messages from an unknown civilization trying to communicate with humans through a language of light. A few even speculate extraterrestrial origins, suggesting the orbs are craft or probes observing life on Earth. Each theory adds to the intrigue, but none has been proven. One of the most compelling aspects of the Brown Mountain Lights is their consistency across decades. Reports from the 1800s resemble modern accounts almost exactly. Witnesses continue to describe hovering orbs, erratic movements, and sudden disappearances. This continuity has fascinated researchers, suggesting that whatever causes the lights has been a persistent feature of the region for generations. Some investigators have tried to recreate the lights under controlled conditions, using mirrors, lights, or flammable gases. While some experiments produce glowing effects, none fully replicate the intelligence and unpredictability described in eyewitness accounts. This leaves the mystery unresolved and maintains its aura of supernatural or extraterrestrial possibility. Tourists and locals alike often describe an eerie sense of being watched when the lights appear. The combination of darkness, isolation, and the glowing orbs creates an atmosphere that is both beautiful and unsettling. Many report feelings of curiosity mixed with fear, unable to explain why the lights appear to react to human presence. Even with modern technology, the Brown Mountain Lights continue to elude explanation. Cameras, drones, and night vision equipment capture glimpses, but the phenomenon often defies recording, appearing only fleetingly or in ways that footage cannot adequately show. This elusive quality reinforces the sense of mystery, keeping the legend alive and the lights a topic of endless fascination. In conclusion, the Brown Mountain Lights of Colorado remain one of the state's most enigmatic and visually stunning mysteries. Whether they are spirits, natural phenomena, or something entirely unknown, their unpredictable behavior, historical consistency, and strange intelligence continue to intrigue anyone who witnesses them. From miners in the 1800s to hikers and night watchers today, these glowing orbs have captivated imaginations and inspired countless theories. The lights remain a testament to the unknown forces that still exist in the world, waiting for those curious enough to explore the ridges of Colorado and witness them firsthand. The Devil's Backbone Formation. Stretching across the rugged Colorado landscape, the Devil's Backbone Formation is one of the state's most striking and mysterious natural landmarks. Jagged ridges of rock rise sharply from the earth, casting long, eerie shadows over the valleys below. While many come to admire its dramatic beauty and hike its trails, the formation has long been associated with strange occurrences, unexplained sensations, and stories that blur the line between natural phenomena and the supernatural. Hikers, geologists, and locals have all reported experiences that defy explanation, making the Devil's Backbone a place of both fascination and fear. The origins of the formation itself are geological, dating back millions of years. Ancient tectonic activity forced layers of rock skyward, creating sharp ridges and steep cliffs. Over time, erosion sculpted the jagged landscape into what we see today, a spine-like series of rocky outcrops that appear almost otherworldly, especially when viewed against the setting sun. Yet for all its geological history, the formation has a reputation that goes far beyond natural science. Locals whisper that it is a place where reality feels altered, where hikers report disorientation, sudden dizziness, and a sense of being watched. Some claim that the rocks themselves seem to exert a strange influence on those who walk among them. Stories of the Devil's Backbone's mysterious nature are as old as the trails themselves. Early settlers in the region reported feeling uneasy when passing near the formation. Many described sudden, inexplicable chills, the sensation of being followed or seeing fleeting shadows at the edge of their vision. Native tribes had their own accounts, referring to the ridge as a place of spiritual significance. Some elders claimed that the rocks were home to spirits or guardians, beings that watched over the land and intervened when humans ventured too close. These oral histories often described phenomena similar to modern reports. Whispers, sudden light changes, and feelings of presence that could not be explained by wind, wildlife, or the terrain itself. Hikers and explorers continue to report unusual experiences on the Devil's Backbone. Some have described hearing soft, unintelligible murmurs or whispers that seem to emanate directly from the rocks. Others experience sudden vertigo or disorientation, even on well-marked trails. There are accounts of hikers seeing lights hovering among the rocks at night, moving with deliberate intelligence, similar to other unexplained light phenomena in the region. The combination of isolation, jagged cliffs, and unpredictable weather makes these experiences even more intense, leaving visitors questioning whether what they saw or felt was real or a trick of their mind. In addition to the psychological phenomena, there are also physical mysteries associated with the formation. Some climbers report rocks that appear to have shifted overnight, trails that seem to change subtly, or unusual markings on stones that do not match known geological patterns. Paranormal investigators have examined these reports, some suggesting that the rocks themselves may emit electromagnetic fields that affect human perception, while others believe the area may act as a natural portal to another dimension. While no scientific consensus exists, the consistency of reports over decades has made the Devil's Backbone Formation a hotspot for mystery enthusiasts. One of the most famous accounts involves a group of hikers who set out at dawn to explore the ridges. According to their story, they reached a high point overlooking the valley and suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of dread. One hiker described feeling frozen in place, unable to move, while others heard whispers in a language they did not understand. Moments later, they saw shadows moving across the rocks, but when they tried to approach, the shadows vanished. The experience left them shaken, and though they returned to the area years later, they could never replicate or explain what had happened. Local folklore adds another layer to the mystery. Some legends claim that the formation is cursed, a place where those who are not careful can become lost forever. Others speak of the Devil's Backbone as a threshold between worlds, where the living and the dead, or perhaps humans and something beyond, briefly intersect. The dramatic shape of the rocks, resembling the spine of a massive creature, fuels these stories, giving the impression that the landscape itself is alive, watching. and responding to those who tread upon it. Geologists have studied the Devil's Backbone extensively, focusing on its composition, erosion patterns, and tectonic history. While they can explain the formation's shape and structure, science cannot account for the strange sensations, whispers, or lights reported by visitors. Some researchers suggest that natural electromagnetic anomalies could explain feelings of dizziness or disorientation. Others speculate that visual illusions caused by shadows and sunlight interacting with jagged rocks could account for some sightings. However, these explanations fail to capture the full range of experiences described by witnesses, especially those involving audible phenomena or lights that move intelligently. Nighttime hikes and camping trips have produced some of the most compelling accounts. Visitors often report hearing faint footsteps along the rocks when no one is nearby, seeing shadows that defy the contours of the terrain, or witnessing strange lights moving against the wind. Some even describe feelings of being drawn towards certain points on the ridge, as if invisible forces are guiding them. The isolation of the Devil's Backbone, combined with its jagged, intimidating terrain, makes these experiences even more unnerving, leaving hikers both fascinated and fearful. Paranormal investigators, thrill seekers, and adventurers continue to explore the Devil's Backbone formation, hoping to capture evidence of its strange phenomena. Cameras, motion sensors, and audio recorders have been used extensively, but results are inconsistent. Some investigators capture unexplained lights or sounds, while others report nothing at all. This unpredictability adds to the legend, creating an aura of mystery that is difficult to replicate but impossible to ignore. The Devil's Backbone also inspires artistic and cultural interpretations. Photographers and filmmakers are drawn to its dramatic ridges, often capturing eerie shots at sunset or in foggy conditions. Writers and storytellers have incorporated the formation into tales of the supernatural, describing it as a place where the natural and paranormal intersect. This combination of visual impact and mysterious phenomena ensures that the Devil's Backbone remains one of Colorado's most compelling and enigmatic landmarks. In conclusion, the Devil's Backbone Formation is more than just a striking geological feature. It is a place of mystery, wonder, and unanswered questions. From unexplained lights and whispers to feelings of presence and disorientation, the ridge has captivated the imagination of those who explore it. Whether it is the result of electromagnetic anomalies, spiritual forces, or something beyond human understanding, the formation continues to draw visitors seeking adventure and answers. The Devil's Backbone reminds us that even in a world explained by science, there remain places that challenge our understanding, urging us to explore, question, and experience the unknown for ourselves. St. Elmo Ghost Town, deep in the heart of the Colorado Rockies, lies one of the most famous and haunting ghost towns in America, St. Elmo. Once a bustling mining settlement filled with the clamor of saloons, the ringing of blacksmith hammers, and the hopeful voices of gold prospectors, it now sits frozen in time. Wooden buildings lean against each other, dust covers the streets, and silence rules where thousands once lived. Yet for all its abandonment, St. Elmo is not empty. Locals and visitors alike claim that something still lingers there. Spirits of miners, settlers, and townsfolk who never truly left. St. Elmo may be a ghost town in name, but according to those who have experienced it, the town still breathes with an unsettling life of its own. St. Elmo was founded in 1880 during Colorado's mining boom. Gold and silver fever swept through the region, drawing thousands of prospectors to the high mountain valleys. At its peak, St. Elmo had nearly 2,000 residents. It had a telegraph office, a schoolhouse, general stores, hotels, and more than 40 saloons. For a time, it thrived, and its residents believed it would become a permanent, prosperous community. But as with so many mining towns of the American West, its fate was tied to the fickle veins of precious metal beneath the ground. When the mines dried up, so did the town's fortune. By the 1920s, most of its residents had left, seeking better lives elsewhere. The once busy streets grew quiet. Businesses closed their doors and buildings began to decay. But even in its abandonment, St. Elmo retained a strange presence. Unlike other ghost towns that were scavenged for lumber and scrap, St. Elmo was largely preserved. Many of its original buildings remain standing, albeit weathered by time. This unusual preservation has made it a magnet for curious travelers, historians, and paranormal investigators. Walking its streets feels like stepping into another century. Dusty curtains hang in windows, shelves still hold rusted cans, and old photographs peer out from cracked frames. It's as though the town was abandoned suddenly, left in a rush, with its residents never truly saying goodbye. The sense of being watched is one of the most common reports from those who visit St. Elmo. Tourists often describe a chilling awareness, as if eyes peer out from the empty windows or shadows shift inside the buildings. Some visitors claim to have heard faint laughter drifting through the streets or the sound of footsteps echoing from buildings that are locked and empty. At night, the atmosphere becomes even heavier, with flickering lights seen in windows and the unmistakable impression of figures moving in the dark. One of the most enduring legends of St. Elmo centers around the Stark family, who lived there long after most residents had left. Annabelle Stark, often referred to as Dirty Annie by locals, became the town's unofficial guardian. Fiercely protective of St. Elmo, she remained there into the mid-20th century, long after the mines had closed. Visitors who crossed her path reported her eccentric and sometimes intimidating behavior, but many believe she saw herself as the keeper of the town's memory. After her death, stories began to circulate of her ghostly presence. Some claim to see a stern-looking woman staring from the windows of the old hotel, while others insist they feel her presence when they wander too close to certain buildings. Whether Annabelle still walks the streets of St. Elmo or not, her legend has become inseparable from the town's eerie reputation. Paranormal investigators who have spent nights in St. Elmo report a variety of unexplained phenomena. Cold spots, sudden drops in temperature, and equipment malfunctions are common. Electronic voice phenomena, disembodied voices captured on audio recorders, have been reported, with words like leave and mine faintly audible. Lights and orbs appear in photographs, even when no light sources are present. Some investigators claim to have captured shadowy figures moving between buildings or peering out from second-story windows, though skeptics argue these could be tricks of light or dust. Still, the sheer volume of similar accounts makes it difficult to dismiss entirely. What makes St. Elmo especially chilling is the silence. The town is nestled high in the mountains, far from modern cities. Visitors describe how quickly the natural sounds, wind, creaking wood, distant water, transform into something unsettling when combined with the town's atmosphere. A creak becomes footsteps, a gust of wind becomes a whisper, and the groan of an old building feels like a voice trying to break free. In this silence, imagination takes hold, and even skeptics admit that St. Elmo can play tricks on the mind. Yet for those who have truly experienced something inexplicable, there is no doubt that the town holds secrets. Historians often point out that mining towns like St. Elmo were filled with tragedy. Accidents were common, and miners often worked in dangerous conditions with little protection. Death from cave-ins, explosions, or disease was not unusual, and cemeteries quickly filled with graves of men, women, and children who came seeking fortune, but found only hardship. This tragic history fuels the belief that spirits still linger, unable to move on from lives cut short. In St. Elmo, every empty building and dusty street seems to hold echoes of these lost lives. Modern tourism has given St. Elmo new life, but it hasn't erased its mystery. Visitors flock to see the preserved buildings, walk its silent streets, and catch a glimpse of its ghostly reputation. Photographers love its haunting aesthetic, capturing images of the sun setting over its weathered wooden structures. Yet, even in broad daylight, many say there's something strange about St. Elmo. It doesn't feel abandoned. It feels inhabited by memories, energy, and perhaps by those who once called it home. Legends of the town grow each year as new visitors share their experiences. Some claim they saw figures moving in the upper windows of locked buildings. Others say they smelled the strong scent of tobacco or horse stables, though neither has been present for decades. A few even report hearing the sound of a piano playing faintly at night, as though the saloon still entertains ghostly patrons. Each story adds another layer to the mythos of St. Elmo. Elmo solidifying its place as one of Colorado's most mysterious and haunted sites. Despite numerous investigations and attempts at debunking, no definitive explanation has been found for St. Elmo's strange activity. Some insist it is the result of lingering energy, a kind of spiritual residue left behind by the intensity of lives once lived there. Others believe it is the imagination of visitors, heightened by the eerie setting and silence. Paranormal enthusiasts, however, are convinced the town is still alive with spirits who have never left. St. Elmo endures not just as a historical site, but as a living mystery. Its decaying buildings, tragic history, and countless ghost stories ensure that it will continue to attract visitors searching for answers. Whether the town is truly haunted, or whether its atmosphere simply magnifies the fears and imaginations of those who wander its streets, St. Elmo remains unforgettable. To walk its dusty roads is to step into another time, one where the line between the past and the present blurs, and where the echoes of history refuse to fade. In the end, St. Elmo Ghost Town is more than a relic of Colorado's mining past. It is a reminder of how deeply human history imprints itself on a place, leaving behind stories, energy, and mysteries that time cannot erase. For those who dare to visit St. Elmo Ghost Town, Elmo offers an experience that is equal parts history lesson, haunting encounter, and journey into the unknown. It stands as proof that some towns may die, but tea